What if I told you there's a community of creators out there who've pretty much cracked the code? They're not just getting by, they are absolutely thriving. Today, we're going to unpack their blueprint, the lessons they've shared on how to turn that creative spark into an unstoppable fire. Let's dive in.
Okay, be honest. Does this look a little too familiar? Kind of like the inside of your brain on a Tuesday? You're bursting with all these amazing ideas, writing, designing, making music, building something new, but it just feels like creative chaos. The biggest question for any of us is, how do you wrangle all that amazing energy into an actual career? I mean, where do you even start? Well, we actually found some incredible answers in a pretty cool place, a social media post. It was celebrating 5 powerhouse creators from a community they called a Fireverse. And here's the thing, it's so much more than just a shout out. It's basically a series of real, actionable lessons on how to build, balance, and completely master your creative journey. So, lesson 1. This one's simple but huge. Build your empire. Yeah, forget that whole slow and steady thing for a second. We're talking massive, ambitious output and making diverse moves. And our first case study? You got to meet the incredible Tammie Polk. Okay, look at this number. 200 plus. Seriously, just let that sink in for a moment. That is not a typo. That is how many books Tammie Polk has authored. It's just wild. That number alone tells you we're dealing with a totally different kind of creative engine here. But the books? That's just the start. That's the foundation. Look at this. She's built this entire ecosystem around her work. She's a distinguished Toastmaster. That's like an elite-level public speaker. She owns a real physical bookstore in Memphis. She even runs her own radio network. Oh, and on top of all that, she coaches other authors. See what I mean? This isn't just a job. It's a full-blown empire, and every single piece feeds the others. The post that inspired this whole explainer, it just nails it. It calls her the definition of doing the most in the best way possible. And that's the big takeaway here, right? Don't be afraid to think big, to go big. Build an empire where all your projects support and lift each other up. Okay, so that's the go big model. But what if your passions are like all over the place, in totally different fields? That brings us to lesson number 2, juggle your genius. How do you manage all that creative energy without, dropping the ball? For this one, we're looking at 2 amazing creators they called multi-hyphenates, Serenity Dupree and Elise Adderley. And just look at this. Their talents are in completely different worlds. On one side, you've got a chef, an artist, and a singer. On the other, a designer, a business founder, and a brand builder. They're living proof that you can absolutely crush it in more than one lane. Let's zoom in on Serenity for a sec. In the kitchen, she's a super gifted chef and baker. In her studio, she's a visual artist, doing both digital stuff and freehand drawing. And then she walks into a recording booth and just dropped her debut single. I mean, come on. She is the perfect example of someone who refuses to be put in just one box. And then there's Elise. Her core thing? It's design. But watch how she applies it in 2 totally different, brilliant ways. First, she's designing her own clothing line. Super cool. But then, she takes that same creative energy and channels it into a pet gift shop, making custom pet clothes and toys. It's just a masterclass in taking one core skill and applying it to multiple passions. So we've covered building an empire, and we've covered juggling your passions. But what about the opposite? What about the power of just pouring all your energy into one specific thing? Well, that's lesson 3, master your craft. Now hold on. When we talk about mastery here, it's not just about being good at something. It's about the energy you bring. It's about having this consistent, top-tier energy, this undeniable flow that makes what you do completely unforgettable. It's that thing that makes people stop and say, whoa. First up, we've got The Real Snowman. His mastery, it's all about creating a vibe. It doesn't matter if it's his music or his talk show, he brings this consistent, high energy that just pulls you right in. He's literally mastered the art of connection and building a community around that vibe. And for our second example of mastery, Advergene Scott's. His craft is pure, uncut lyricism. The source material specifically calls out his undeniable flow and top-tier performance energy. So this isn't just about stringing words together. It's about honing a style to a razor's edge and just delivering heat, as they say, every single time. That is mastery. Okay, so think about it. We've got three totally different paths, right? Building a massive empire, juggling all your genius ideas, and mastering one single craft. They seem so different on the surface, but there's this one powerful thread, this one secret ingredient that connects them all. So what is it? What makes it all actually work? It's this. Right here, this quote from the original post is the absolute key to the entire blueprint. Let's keep elevating each other. I mean, you see the emojis, you feel the energy. This is not just some nice little hashtag or a friendly sign-off. It's the core belief, the engine, that fuels every single one of these amazing creators. So let's put it all together. The blueprint is this. You can totally build big. Go huge, like Tammie. You can juggle all your incredible passions, like Serenity and Elise. Or you can lock in and master your craft, like Adrivion and Dayreal Snowman. Any of these paths can work. But they are all, and I mean all of them, powered by the exact same engine, a supportive community that genuinely wants to see its members win. And that really just leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question of all. Whether you're just sketching out your first idea or you're deep in the game, the biggest lesson from the Fireverse is crystal clear. You can't do this thing alone. So, take a second and really ask yourself, who elevates you?